You are one of the smartest people in the Mississippi Legislature, from my perspective, have always been one of the best thinkers about Mississippi issues. I'm excited that you have a platform to share more because I think you've got a lot to say, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say. But you've been a tremendous friend to me. You and I have been able to talk about deeply personal issues over the years. We've been able to talk about professional issues over the years, and certainly politics. That's always been kind of the backbeat of our conversations. But This is a lot of fun. I'm glad to be doing it with you.
You were much younger than I am, but for some reason, you developed an affinity for me at the legislature. So we got to know each other. But, for a guy from the Mississippi Gulf Coast who I got to know and got to like, and I consider a great friend, to have that kind of relationship from a guy who grew up during the civil rights movement. I carried picket signs in the 60s as a 10-year-old child, went out of state to school, came back home, and because I wanted to be here. I like all the things that every other Mississippian like. I like good food. I like being outdoors. I like football. My son played football at Jackson State. All my kids are grown now. I like to hunt and fish. I love Natchez, Mississippi, my home, and I want to continue to do all I can to make it better.
Yeah, we'll cover a lot during these conversations, but I think it's going to be fun, and we're not going to limit ourselves to, topics. What we're going to try to do is to take on whatever comes up. We've already, I think, demonstrated that in our earliest conversations. Doesn't mean, we're going to have all the information, and we're going to try to be as smart as we can about how we suss that out. But one thing that I think we've talked about that excites us about this program is we're just going to cover it all. If it's something that's important to us, if we think it's something that's important to the state, we're going to talk about it, even if it's complicated, even if it's hard.
Well, what I'm going to try to do is talk about things that when I listen to podcasts or I listen to the news, I'm going to talk about things that I wish people would talk about. And when I talk to people that are just out in the community and just walking around, there are things that nobody talks about that I hope we can talk about. And I think, get an idea of what's important to me.
Yeah.